1, 2, clink. Cheers. Cheers. That's literally my line.
Who says clink out loud?
Cheers, girls. 1, 2, 3, clink.
That we came up with last episode. Wait, wasn't it? Shit happens when it's a cover.
Well, that was the closing.
Welcome to Crying in Public. No?
That was just Welcome to Crying in Public.
Is it?
Yeah.
Welcome to.
Who wants to do it?
You can do it.
I did the intro for the last. No, I did the closing. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to Crying in
Hello.
Public.
Good morning.
Mini episode.
Good evening.
I'm probably still on my armpit. Sorry. I definitely did not shave. So today we're being super uber professional, as you can see by her blazer and my bun I did in 5 seconds.
And our makeup, we're very professional. We're 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. So today we wanted to change things up a little and give advice on internships, careers, all of that good stuff, especially while in college or in your 20s, and especially in New York City.
Yeah. Advice, story time, horror stories, tips and tricks.
Oh, we're the same person, and it's kind of scary. Ooh.
That was so weird.
I know, it keeps happening more and more often, and we're
It happened
doing
3
it to
times
each other.
today. We actually was keeping it out.
Physically 3 times.
3 times. But it was that weird. It's just like there was no reason for us to say tips and tricks at the same time.
Or
we
to say
did.
all, to say 15 adjectives, or what's that word that means similar? Synonyms. Yes, interview tricks. Also, this weird thing keeps happening. We're like, we'll do gestures,
Yeah.
like at dinner. Like yesterday, Sarah was just like, oh, I'm so sad. And for some reason, for the last 24 hours straight, we've been doing this to describe everything. But at the same time, just there.
Yeah.
I don't really know why, but it's catching on. It's like this, it's this, what else?
There's also, a random point that like
there
Sydney
goes.
did like this, and I thought it was cute because she went like pew
Yeah.
pew, like a little like e-girl, like pew pew.
That's how she sneezes.
Yeah, pew pew. I know you were gonna take it there.
Exactly.
So we're gonna start with finding your internship or like a potential internship or like your field of study. Then we're gonna go into interviews. Then we're gonna go into like perks of the job and like what our interviews are and like what our field of study are and like specifics there. Then we're gonna tell you all of the goods, all of the
goodies.
icky details. It's gonna be fun.
So this whole be like a multiple-part series also. So there's so much
Yeah.
to get into. Like
Can
how to
we
get
fit it into 25 minutes is the question.
will we change about it, etc.
Yeah.
This is our tips and tricks first episode, season, part, whatever. Anyway, so do you want me to go first or you want to start first?
And then you can go first.
Okay, so a lot of people start their internship experience in high school. However, I am from Jacksonville, Florida, which is like the biggest small city ever. And for me, finding internships and things that I was interested in just like was not necessarily available to me because it was either like I had to be a college student or it didn't line with my values, etc.
Or you had to have past experience.
Exactly. They require 4 years. I'm like, I'm in high school. 4 years experience of what? Learning how to read and write. So
Learning geometry and like how to solve a triangle and
it's just algebra. Anyway, like literally rudimentary. I love that word.
What's that? That's like A squared plus B squared equals
The that yes. I was gonna say the plus.
Wait, isn't that?
There's a word for that. Slope? No, slope is x equals y plus b. I don't know. No,
I
y
just
equals
called
x
it.
plus b.
Yes.
What's the a squared plus b? Whatever. We're not math majors.
Okay,
as you can probably tell.
Yeah. Ew.
So I didn't
Go on.
do internship in high school. What I did do, however, through my school, I was selected for a couple and then applied for a couple and then chosen for societies in the South, which I don't know if it's like everywhere, but one
Societies.
was
Interesting. What are
Yeah.
societies?
So one was called Joburg Society, and you're separated into 2 groups, science or humanities. I was obviously humanities, you can tell by my math skills, and we talked to like different experts in the humanities fields every week, and then did like activities on it and whatever. It was like super selective, and I was like, wow, I got it. And then I also did my junior senior year youth leadership Jacksonville, and I don't really remember what we did because it was a blur, but I think that we met with like career heads from like around and like alumni like made it big in their fields.
That's cool.
And then like did other stuff. I did this, I wore this t-shirt, that's all I remember. So that was something, but those also really helped me to prepare like my resume, experiences, like build a network. So I love networking in the sense that I like talking to a lot of people, but it's hard to get your foot in the door, especially as like a high schooler. So for me, that was my way of like meeting people in fields I was interested in, hearing their experiences, and then deciding what I wanted to do. So in terms of like before college, pre-college, high school, how did your like career interests, fields start?
I grew up in the Northeast, and she grew up in both Jacksonville and LA. In the Northeast, you have an internship by the time you're 3. Just kidding, that's not true. I felt like behind the game. Like I felt just totally like behind everybody else, because all these people, like all my friends were getting into Harvard and like Columbia, and I was like, I want to go to Penn State. But before I got into NYU or like even thought that it was a possibility, I was interning at a theater company, solely because every other serious intern spot did exactly what Sydney said. You know what I mean? Like they required experience, required you to be a certain level in college, and I was like, well, I'm neither of those things. But what I am is proactive and a little bitch, so I will be extraordinarily persistent until you agree, or else I'll scream and cry at your feet. You know what I mean? Like I'll grovel and I won't leave you alone. So I did that to like one of my past theater directors, and so she ended up hiring me for a summer to do PR for the event. Like it was very like event specific public relations. So I did that for about a few months. It was really great, met a lot of new friends, and then in college was the advancement of my career. And that's, I think, the moment that I knew that I didn't want to do musical theater anymore, because I was a theater kid. Yeah, she was in dance
Theater
and cheerleading. Yeah. She was one of those
Goals.
cheerleader royals, and I was not.
So after high school, college,
level up.
oh shit, all of that. Simmer in silence. We were not on the same wavelength there.
I just hit your boob. They liked it.
I'm not wearing lipstick. Wow, this is very weird. Wow, chat. Anyway, so entering college, going to NYU, one of the main reasons why I chose it was because I had a lot of things I was interested in doing in a career or studying, and I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And New York is the center of almost every career. Like no matter what you want to do, there's something you can do in New York. So for me, that was like one of the pushing factors of like why I wanted to go to NYU. And my freshman year, I was like, most people start applying for internships sophomore and junior year, and I was like, okay, my freshman year I'm focusing solely on my studies and getting acclimated into being in New York, because coming from the South, a city where like my parents drove me everywhere and then I drove everywhere, and like it was very like guarded, secluded, etc. Being in a place on my own for the first time, I was like, I'm not going to jump into putting too much on my plate. I want to learn to navigate the city, learn to be acclimated in my like surroundings, meet friends, meet connections, and also decide what I want to do with my career. And so first year I focused solely on my studies, grades, etc. So that when I did apply to internships, I had a solid foundation. That was like the big thing for me. And as you probably know, or don't know because you don't care, Sarah and I, I'm going to call you Sydney. I'm Sydney. Sarah and I are in the same major, and we are obsessed with it. I'm going to speak for you and just put that word in your mouth.
Well, no, we are, because we've had this discussion on multiple occasions. Our major, a lot of people drop out of, which is weird, because I think a lot of people like find that they want to do English or like pre-med or something, and I'm like, why? Because I think like our major specifically in NYU lets you do like 80 things at once, which is what I like, the open-ended question, you know what I mean? Like I like to kind of just pick and disregard my future.
Yeah. So our major, so we probably could have said that.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's my necklace is in front. Is media, culture, and communications. And one reason why I love it is because you choose to, like, what do they call it? Fields or like tracks of study, areas of study to focus on while you're in the program. And it could be like visual culture, television, technology, entertainment, politics, etc. And basically just how the media world fits into those majors. And like media is one of the biggest things that guides our society at this point. So for me, it was like, I'm interested in entertainment and film and writing and in politics. And so for me, it was like, that's perfect, because like it's teaching me how to speak, how to persuade, how to understand the way that society understands things. So Sarah and I literally are in the same areas of study. We're both in politics and entertainment, because
and all the same classes.
It'd be fucking the same thing. But the classes are incredible. But anyway, they also have really good internship just because it like covers so much. And so like for me, having 2 areas of study, I try to figure out like, do I want to do entertainment? Do I want to do politics? I do not know. and I had a minor in poli-sci. So I was like, how does this fit into my life? So freshman summer, I did my first internship. And for me, a very big thing was I didn't want to rely on family connections, which obviously helps so many people get their foot into the door. But for me, it was like, I want to get something on my own merit. Not that it's bad that you get help. Everyone should get help. It puts your foot in the door. But I wanted to get on my own merit so I could tell truly if I liked what I wanted to do, if I liked the field, so I wouldn't ever have to be like, did they treat me nice or give me extra work because of my family or because they know my dad or my mom or whatever. So I just cold applied to literally 500 million PR marketing agencies / firms on LinkedIn, because you know how LinkedIn be the connection of the business world. And hiring a freshman with no experience is kind of like, yikes. I didn't expect to get paid.
Everyone wants usually like juniors or seniors, and even then, if you get paid,
they will not pay you. Usually.
Yeah.
Especially in like media, politics, entertainment, they're notorious for not paying their interns just because like it's some people want to get into that field, but they're like, why would we pay you, especially with no experience?
Yeah.
And like while I did a PR for a music company, and I ended up getting one for this gigantic music firm that I was obsessed with, but they didn't let me know until after I already accepted another one. So I was like, you know what, it's just meant to be, whatever. I loved the people I worked with. I had friends from NYU that I met through that internship. But for me, like, it was fun, and like the interview process was great because it was very like job specific. It was like, this is one of the artists we have on our label. Do you know anything about them? How would you create a like new idea for them, like just on the spot, like here and there? And like for me, it was creative. It was fun. Like I didn't have to prepare for it in the sense that like it was all just things that I had to like feel, understand, or know about, just like how I perceive music or whatever. So that was like fun. But the internship itself, people were great. The vibe was great. The office was great. But like I just didn't find passion in it in the way that I wanted to in a career. So while it helped me get my foot in the door and learn so many like basic intern duties of like copying, scanning, which I still cannot do. I don't know how. Every time I learn it, it's a new machine, and I'm like, okay, babe, we just learned the old one.
Yeah, because then you just get used to it, and then you're like, does this green button mean
go or stop?
Yeah.
Scan or copy.
Scan or literally or fax.
Yeah. So for that, it was cool, and they gave me a birthday surprise, and that was really sweet. But besides that, I loved it. But I just helped me figure out that side of PR marketing just like wasn't for me, and so for me that was actually beneficial. Like I loved it. I didn't get paid, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, so what was your first like interning experience as a college student?
My first internship experience as a college student was also freshman year.
Perfect.
In probably the worst time of my life, because I had just suffered a immense breakup, so I'm already a mess. And this internship is very unique in also the sense that it was also with another musical theater camp company, so it was an event-based internship. So I was doing PR, advertising, and marketing, and branding all in one weekend for this one event. So it was the most hellish 3 days of my life. And it's not even like, I would say the name of the company because it's a theater camp, so I would encourage like your kids to go there, or if you're in high school or like middle school, I would encourage you to go there, but I'm not going to, just because simply I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. I went there post-breakup and with this rash like on the back of my throat, and I don't know what it was.
I know you were explaining, but I wasn't explaining the word rash.
No, like it was it was so weird. It wasn't strep, it wasn't an STD, because yes, I got tested. It was a red rash that traveled all the way down my throat for no reason.
Or the inside? Oh, so I was like, why would it be on the? Okay,
no, the inside. It was on the roof of my mouth. Everything that I ate, like I could barely eat. I was on a liquid diet for weeks. It was insane. So this weekend was kind of me like getting used to all of that, and like the first really, really bad kind of few days of all of those situations. Like it was literally the day after my breakup when I started. So not only was I trying to process all of these feelings or whatever, but then during that weekend, I also realized that I did not want to be involved in the musical theater industry / Broadway industry whatsoever. And not because of the people, not really because of like the situation, but just because I realized that like that's just a chapter of my life that I want closed. So I think the only like the kind of message of the situation is try everything and start early, because the sooner you figure out what you don't like, the sooner you can get to the things that you do like, and that keep you motivated and want to get out of bed every day.
Oh. So That was super cute.
So what are like, because I don't know, did you interview for that first internship?
Yes. I remember I was like,
how did your interview go?
I was like, Mom, I need outfit. I literally went, so this job had a color scheme. And it was black, white, navy, and olive green. The only colors you could wear. I only
Why olive green? Why?
I went and bought a suit from Banana Republic, got fitted and everything. I walked in, everyone's wearing jeans and t-shirts. And I was like, oh. Like, it was cool because like a lot of my job was like going to grab like Chanel and Louis Vuitton and like literally like talking to the clients. And I thought it was so cool and so sick. Because it was just fun. And I worked in Fide-Eye, and I was on the water, and I was like...
I saw her old building. We pass a lot when we go to Stone Street, and her building was really nice.
Beautiful.
It's really cool. It's like all glass and shit.
And little doorman, and I was like, hi baby.
Yeah.
And it was like, exactly. And it was like the worst summer of my life. So having something to keep me busy was super nice because I was literally off the rocks. So like mentally was not there. So
clearly we had great first experiences. So yours is going to suck in conclusion.
But I think one good thing about that experience, as well as like my first 2 years of college, was that I really learned my strong suits because I knew in high school that I was very analytical. I was very, very into writing. I originally entered NYU as a dramatic writing student. I'm not in that now, as you can tell. But I realized that like creativity and writing were my strong suits, and like my first 2 years of college, I really built upon that through my classes and through that one experience of like cold emailing. And
cold
also,
emailing,
like,
what a good skill, dude. Pitching yourself.
And
cold emailing and cold calling, that's hard. I want you to talk about the internship you have now and how you got that, because that's kind of iconic. It's like the first person you called. But first, what I want to do is a new segment that it will only be present in this episode, and it's called, we're each going to give our 3 best interview tips specifically for interning in like late high school or college. And then we're going to give like a little personal segment with each of those tips, just like what we did.
We're doing that right now.
Yeah, we should.
Should we? Okay.
You want to like go back and forth?
Yeah. Are we telling stories with it? I'm just saying them.
Not even like stories, just like a quick example maybe.
Okay.
If it's relevant.
Yeah. 1, recognize your strong suits. That sounds so obvious, but like if you were to put your strengths in the most simplest of terms, what are your top 3 traits? In which ways does that apply to your job and how you can help that company grow?
I think that's really good because not only can you use that in this flows so seamlessly into my tip, because not only can you use that in order to grow your own self-confidence and realize that it's not just like a one-way interview, it's a two-way interview because you're also interviewing the company.
Yeah.
It also can help you answer the question when they ask you the inevitable question, why do you want to work for us? Or like, what makes you the person for the job? So my number 1 tip is just always have that answer ready, because I feel like that's the question that everyone neglects because they're scared to do the research. But doing research and like finding out, like coordinating what you know and like your strong suits with the company is like the number 1 thing that they're going to look for. And I think it's very impressive when you have an answer ready and it's very clear, concise, and strong.
You stole mine. Mine was always do your research. Always, like, it's
this flows all seamlessly because that just...
Exactly. Not only like when you go to the interview, but in your cover letter, make sure that you're very specific about what about that company.
What about that specific nation that you like?
What about their values, their work, their goals? Do not only do you align with, but also you can contribute to. And like I always make sure to have very specific examples of how I agree with something or how I feel that I could contribute to something, etc. But also that when you go into the interview, it's not just me. It's I feel that I do have this strong suit, and because your company has this value or this vision, I feel that my strong suit in alignment with this is very beneficial to you hiring me for this position. So I think always know about the company, know about their values, and if you're working for something that's like finance or law or anything like that, like looking into their recent work, recent projects, etc., and just knowing something about it is always going to help you.
And again, it flows just so seamlessly. Is like be a hype beast for yourself, but be very as specific as possible. And so this number 2 tip for me is give examples, because if they ask you like why are you the best person for the job, and especially the question that I get asked a lot is like what challenges have you faced or have you overcome that you think like makes you the person for this, or like that you think increases your credibility. I think like have an answer for that question as well. Like have like 3 probably like main examples. A three-pronged example chart in your brain of like what challenges that you faced in your past internships. And I know like questions like that are hard to think about in theory because you're thinking too broad, but think about like specifically with your own experience. My job.
Yeah. Bam. This is our last tip.
Yeah.
Each, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The inevitable question in every interview I've been in, and the last question is, what questions do you have for us?
Yes.
And I cannot tell you, the worst thing you could say is, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have questions or not. I don't care if you're curious or not, or if you, like, always. I always have one typed with me, a prepared list of questions. Even if it's like, what do you think that you're looking for in a candidate that I'm missing? What do you think about your company is the strongest value in the sense of how it benefits your employees? Just having very specific questions that they can ask them that makes them think, and says you're interested in having the position or being part of the company. So I think always come prepared is like the overarching theme of these tips and tricks, but also just have a list of things that you want to know about the company, or just, even if you don't really care or you just don't know, make sure you have them prepared so you seem like you've done your work, you're interested, and you actually really want to put the effort forward to have that job.
That's a great tip. Because I hear a lot like, I'm fine, you know, like I'm good, and then I'm like,
so they're kind of just like, okay.
Yeah.
Like don't make it all about you, is what I have to say. They want to see how you fit into the company, not just how me. They want
it also
to see
shows that you care when you ask questions about the company. It shows that you care and that you're actually seriously considering working there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess my last tip is going to be just I touched on this earlier, but I didn't really like hone in on it. Is like, remember that it's a two-way interview. It's not like and this always helps me, especially like with nerves and anxiety and stress and like the shakes and the sweats, like going into an interview. It helps me like be more clear, more concise, more like, I don't know, specific with my wording and more confident about myself, is the fact that I'm interviewing this company as much as, I'm interviewing this specific person as much as they're interviewing me. So that goes along with what Sunny just said with like asking the questions. It's like, no, like this is your time to shine. Like you get to ask the questions now because you have to have enough confidence in yourself to know that like they'd be lucky to have you. So ask questions. Be like, what is your favorite part about the company that you think all of the employees love and like you think is like the best part about working here? Like stuff like that, you know?
It's based off of interviewing. So I would say also do research into the company's culture before you sign up. Because like I've had internship ever since that freshman internship. I've had one every semester since. And they've all been very different like sectors, very different culture, different vibes. Like the first one was PR and music, and it was like t-shirts, fashion, jeans, everything dark clothes, like what you wore as a reflection of your interests and your style, your swagger, whatever. So like for me that was very like, oh, I want to look fashionable. My second one was with Hillary Clinton. With that one, it's very professional, very like you're not here to like a fashionista, you're here to like help for the work of someone who has spent their whole life dedicated to like public service.
It's like deliverables, that we want to see.
It was clean cut suit, that is it. Now I work at a law firm, and luckily like the partners that I work with are like very, very chill. Like going in, I was like, conservative stuffy is the outfit I need to wear. I'm a green blazer type of girl, so luckily they're very chill. Like they wear jeans in the office unless it's like a deposition or like you're in court. So I do dress up every day just because I feel boss, I feel empowered when I do wear stuff like that. But I think just like understanding the vibe and culture of the company before you go in, so you know how you fit in, you don't stand out in a bad way. Also, they feel comfortable and empowered in the work that you're going to do. Just wrapping up our thing on interviews. I think the best tip, this is not the best tip I can give, but it's an important tip.
Yeah.
Girly. Go to Staples. Go to Office Depot. Go during the September, because it's like the back to school sale, like the 1-cent sale. And get yourself a very nice folder. Like I have a blue velvet one. I have black velvet. Nice. Black velvet. I love that song. Get yourself like a nice notebook, and at any given, I update my resume seasonally. So like every 4 months, quarter of a year, update my resume, and print it on nice paper. Have an example cover letter done for like whatever subject you're applying to. So like if it's law, have one for law. If it's for politics, one for politics. Entertainment, one for entertainment. Have a copy of all those in there and a copy of questions. Keep it in there at all times. Just have it with you to be prepared. Because if you come in looking like you know what you're doing and you're prepared, they're going to see you as organized, prepared, and see those values in you without you having to ask you for them. So I think just always be on your A game and be confident. Because like it's very nerve-wracking, obviously, because they're like are you qualified for this? And it sucks to get rejected. Obviously, I've been rejected from jobs before. I mean, replied to before with some people.
Yeah, I've been ghosted.
Yeah,
I've been ghosted by a class.
Literally ghosted.
That Sydney got into about podcasting. That's how.
Oh yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I think just be confident in yourself and know that like this 10 minutes of courage could help you for a lifetime of careers. So do it.
Yeah, and I think Sydney, I need a cough drop apparently. Sydney has it down pat. Because I think it all, I don't know what just happened.
Down pat.
I think it all starts with confidence in yourself. Like give yourself a nice slap on the ass because you deserve it. And just like, I think understand your qualifications is like the major part of it. Like know that as long as you go in with the mindset that they'd be lucky to have you and that it's their loss if they don't. But like it's easy to just be like, yeah, I think that. But like actually absorb it, meditate with it, think about it. Let it preheat and then let it go bang
Marinate.
and then put it back into marinate and then let it get all the juices flowing.
So whatever she just said. I think find your niche. I don't even know what niche means, but I like using it.
What is this? Find your niche. Find yourself.
I think find that one thing that makes you want to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
That one thing that makes you passionate, that gives you drive. Even if it's not like science. Like for me, mine is writing, mine is creativity. And that manifests itself in a lot of different ways. But I know those are my strong suits. So no matter what area of business I am trying to apply myself to, they will help me in any way, and I will always use those two qualities as a way to explain as how I'm qualified and how I'm being beneficial to my company. So I think find the 2 things, 3 things, one thing that you know you can excel at, that you're passionate about, that you'll work on and continue to work on. Find it and exploit it. And for lack of better words, like you said, marinate, bake, preheat, serve.
Serve on a
silver platter.
Then put it back in the fridge, put it back in the freezer, let it sit for 20 more minutes, and then serve it again the next day and warm it up.
Whatever she just said.
Invite friends over.
So you doing that close?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, whatever we just talked about for last time.
I don't know what just happened.
We're doing multiple parts to this series. Just like building your career, building you, loving your
I like how at the beginning of this episode we were like, we're gonna fit this in 25 minutes, and then
it's
30 minutes in we're like, no.
It's gonna be multiple episodes.
Yeah, so you should watch the rest of it. That's just something we just decided right now. So watch the rest of them. It's worth it. And guys,
no, don't do it. Okay, wait, one more thing. I think that's one thing that we're really hoping to like build upon in Crying in Public is like just showing you all the facets of a successful person, woman.
Yeah.
So we're gonna like very expand upon this. You can want to be empowered in different aspects of your life, whether it be in dating, relationships, sex, your career.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be, or what she just said, girl, we're trying to get very different jobs right now. Whatever you find your niche and passion and happiness in. And it shouldn't just be one thing. Do whatever you want it to be. And that's on what? Crying in Public.
Columbia, when you look at our application, remember this moment.
Yeah, remember that was Sarah Hodgson talking.
Harvard, you want this girl? Okay.
Please let me.
Follow us on Instagram at Crying in Public Podcast. And at TikTok at Crying in Public Podcast. Follow us on YouTube. We're the second thing that comes up when you look up Crying in Public, but you'll see it. You'll see our logo. I'm gonna do that again. On YouTube, we're the second thing that comes up, and you will see our logo, so you'll know it's us. And you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
What's the thing?
Oh, shit happens.
Say the clean version because this is for interviews. Or say a clean version because you're doing meetings.
Life occurs.
Life occurs at some point in your life. Perhaps you may as well shed a tear and an emotion about it. Okay, we're starting this as a thing now, so it's the first time we're actually gonna do it.
Life happens.
Might as well cry about it.
Oh, I
should get together. Okay, sorry.
Life happens.
Might as well cry about it. We're so cringy.
Crying in public.
Okay, check out our full episodes every Thursday. And our mini episodes on YouTube every Sunday. Peace out.